Good morning. Welcome to the virtual home of the Calgary Unitarians. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your journey of faith or search for meaning, welcome. If you are visiting for the first time or the first time in a long time, know that we are grateful to have you with us. We come together in beloved community to grow in wisdom, welcome and deepen relationships, and act for a just and sustainable world. My name is Jane Reverend, and I use the pronouns she, her, and I have the privilege of serving on your board of trustees. Please join me after the service for a virtual coffee hour where we shall meet in small breakout rooms and get a chance to socialize. This congregation is special to me because of the warmth of the congregation and because it offers a non-dogmatic approach to spirituality. I'd like to invite you to join me for the Interfaith Harmony Week. The virtual opening ceremony takes place at 7 p.m. tomorrow, Monday, February 1st. It will be hosted by our very own Reverend Deborah Falk, with Mariana Louise Kovar also speaking, and there will be a special presentation to Mayor Nenshi. Links to register are in the Wednesday, January 27th email, and I look forward to having you there with me. Before I begin our land acknowledgement, let me explain that a land acknowledgement is a way to recognize that we are coexisting in this land with the Native peoples, and that we should acknowledge that this is their traditional land. But at the same time, we are all guests to this land. Wherever you are located now, please acknowledge the traditional lands on which you live. For those of us in Calgary, we acknowledge that this meeting takes place in the traditional territories of the people of the Blackfoot Confederacy, comprising the Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai First Nations, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nation, the Stoney Nakoda, including the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wellesley First Nations of the Treaty 7 region of Southern Alberta. The city of Calgary is also home to Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3. We acknowledge that we are all treaty people. And now to Reverend Deborah Falk for our opening words and chalice lighting.
Thank you, Jane. And I add my welcome to those who have gathered today. And notice that there are people from across the continent, and so a special welcome. And I offer these words to gather us together, words about our chalice, written by Martha Kirby Capo. For some, the chalice cup is a communion cup, freely offered to all who would seek the greater truth. Others see the circle of fellowship in its embracing sides. The sacred hoop of its rim, the ambient energy cradled in its basin, the abiding, grounded strength of its pedestal, may all be lit by the fire of spiritual integrity. So too may we each be bathed in the glow of our shared truth, multifaceted and radiant. With this, let us light our chalice flame. This morning is a special, out of the ordinary, even in these out of ordinary times, because this morning, our inspiration, our service, will primarily be a concert, a live concert. It is also important to recognize the beloved community that gathers and that we strive to bring into being. And so I will light our candles of care this morning as well. There are joys in our community, and since this is the last day of January, I would like to offer greetings to all of those celebrating February birthdays. As Jane mentioned, Interfaith Harmony Week begins, and I have the great joy of being on the South Africa World Interfaith Harmony opening ceremonies that will be for them at 9 a.m. on Monday morning, for me midnight tonight. But it will be a joy to be with them. I was the night owl in the group. I also wanted to share with you an email that I received from a previous member of our congregation, Tim Bartlett. And I want to quote him because it just so touches what I see us as a beloved community creating. He says, "I'm writing to express my gratitude and thanks to the church's caring team and to Marie Collins for the support I received after the passing of my wife last year." He says, "Even when I am no longer a member, it is an enduring testament to our shared UU beliefs and principles when it matters most. Once again, my undying thanks." So there are many other joys that we celebrate. There are also concerns in our community. So many collective concerns right now with illness, with the challenges that COVID has brought to the whole planet. And we light 3 candles when we light our caring candles, and the final one is a global. And today I light our global candle in recognition of the United Nations World Interfaith Harmony Week, which will be celebrated across the planet the first week of February from the 1st to the 7th. With these words, I light our candles of care. This morning, I am so delighted to welcome Emma's Revolution to our virtual service. Having them join us is a blessing of these times as we think of creative ways to be together virtually and also how we can support our musician friends. I have been attending the Unitarian Universalist General Assembly for many years and have always attended Emma's Revolution concerts when they have been there, and joyfully, that has been at most of them. Known for fearless truth-telling lyrics and melodies you can't resist singing, Emma's Revolution is a dynamic, award-winning activist duo of Pat Humphreys and Sandy O. The duo's songs have been sung for the Dalai Lama, praised by Pete Seeger, and covered by Holly Near. They are winners of the Phil Oakes Award and the John Lennon Songwriting Contest Grand Prize. Emma's Revolution has shared the stage with Pete Seeger, Holly Near, Jane Fonda, Indigo Girls, Joan Baez, Reverend Jesse Jackson, and Reverend Barber. And now they continue their work for justice through online performances and workshops. Emma's Revolution is well known to UU audiences. Their songs, Keep on Moving Forward, Swimming to the Other Side, and Peace, Salam, Shalom, are sung by congregations across the continent. And they're included in Earth and Spirit songbooks in the UU Tapestry of Faith series. I am so delighted this morning to offer the spirit of Emma's Revolution a concert, and now invite Pat and Sandy to take the stage.
Our people gonna rise. Our people gonna rise. Listen to our cries through the pain pain and lies, our people gonna rise. Our people gonna sing.
Our people gonna sing.
Our people gonna sing. In spite of everything, hear our freedom ring. Our people gonna sing. Our people gonna fight.
Our people gonna fight.
Our people gonna fight for what we know is right. We're marching to the night. Our people gonna fight. Our people gonna grieve.
Our people gonna grieve.
Our people gonna grieve. Whatever you believe, we have the right to breathe. Our people gonna breathe. Our people gonna pray.
Our people gonna pray.
Our people gonna pray. Take our rights away, fight for each and every day. Our people gonna pray. Our people gonna rise.
Our people gonna rise.
Our people gonna rise. Listen to our cries through the pain and lies. Our people gonna rise.
Our people gonna rise.
Our people gonna rise.
Our people gonna rise.
Our people gonna rise. And the kind of rising we mean is not the kind of uprising that you saw at our Capitol, which was so disgraceful and outrageous, and we'll deal with that a little bit later in our set. But this is the rising of the people at the margins who are always left out no matter what the system, and we're your troublesome neighbors to the south, and part of the progressive community, trying to hear the needs of those people, our people, and to respond appropriately and create a system of justice and equity and sustainability that meets the needs of all of us.
So we're so glad to be with you here this morning. I'm Sandy O.
And I'm Pat Humphreys.
And we love a congregation that wants to sing and have music as part of your spirituality, you know, as part of what you consider about how do you look at the world. So what you just saw there was the first tenet of our spirituality, which is doing these things together, being in this together. So when we invite you to sing, we hope you'll sing along, clap along, dance, move, and really get your whole self involved in justice making through music.
So that first song that we wrote was in response to the killing of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Armand Arbery and all of the others whose lives have been taken by a system of policing that started with slavery and is now under the lens so that we can all look to find ways to do do enforcement and to do community sort of responsibility to one another in a way that that doesn't target a particular community. And this, go ahead.
I was going to say, on this last day of January, when we're about to head into Black History Month here in the States, and we were celebrating Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday in the middle of this month, and that is when Pat wrote this song a number of years ago, thinking about what did Martin Luther King's leadership mean to her.
To pass on the concept of leadership to all of us and our responsibility to one another. In Montgomery and in Selma, in the streets of Birmingham, people sent a message to the leaders of the land. We have fought and we have suffered, we know the wrong from right. We are family, we are neighbors, we are black and we are white. Here I go, bound for freedom, may my truth take the lead. Not the preacher, not the Congress, not the millionaire, not me. truth take the lead. Not the preacher, not the congress, not the millionaire, but me. I will organize for justice. I will raise my voice in song, and our children will be free to leave the world and carry on. Here I go, I know I'm standing on my own. I remember those before me, and I know I'm not alone. I will organize for justice. I will raise my voice in song, and our children will be free to lead the world and carry on. From the streets of New York City, across the ocean and beyond, people from all nations create a common bond with our conscience as our weapon. We are witness to the fall. We are simple, we are brilliant, we are one, and we are all. Here I go, bound for freedom. May my truth take the lead. Not the preacher, not the congress, not the millionaire, but me. I will organize for justice. I will raise my voice in song, and our children will be free to lead the world and carry on. Here I go, though I'm standing on my own. I remember those before me, and I know I'm not alone. I will organize for justice. I will raise my voice in song, and our children will be free to lead the world and carry on.
So we love knowing that you're out there singing, maybe dancing, maybe clapping along on that song, and seeing folks from around the country who we know who have come to join us across the border in Canada. This is a wonderful, silver lining of this moment, that we can join together all across this continent. And hopefully some seriously positive outcomes come from our connections that we make together. We are here this morning singing to you from Woodland, California, which is the native people, the native land of the Patwin people here. And we, when we think about, we started out on the East Coast, and this song is actually an East Coast-based song.
Pete Seeger was a dear friend and mentor to us, and I spent many years working with him on the cleanup effort of the Hudson River. I grew up in a river valley in Ohio and learned about Pete and his environmentalism because he came to talk about the Cuyahoga River near where I grew up in Northeast Ohio. And Pete and I, over the years, struck up a friendship, and in his last days, I sat at his bedside and sang his songs back to him in gratitude for all of his years of singing to me and coming to our communities. So this is the song that came to me as Pete passed. He had such a way of drawing us all in and drawing us together, regardless of what door we came through to find him and his music. So this song has a chorus. We'd love for you to sing Zoom style from wherever you are on the planet.
And when it's International Harmony Week, that metaphor is very appropriate. So when you're singing harmony, you need to listen to the other people you're singing with, and you also need to take part. And it's just such a great metaphor for that kind of global connection.
When I was 4, I had a toy made of plastic and of joy, a magic musical machine from a drum, a stick, and strings. I couldn't know as I would play, I'd live to meet the man one day, playing songs that shaped my life and taught the world to sing. Oh, hear the banjo ring. hear the people sing. Hope changes everything. Sing, people, sing. The summer of my 18th year, in San Francisco he'd appeared. I jumped onto a trolley car, alone and wondering. The grove was full and I got there. People came from everywhere. I climbed a redwood by the stage to watch the reveille. Oh, hear the banjo ring. Hear the people sing. Oh, changes everything. Sing, people, sing. Years went by, I got a call, a festival in early fall. Along the Hudson River shore, a harvest gathering. Asking me to volunteer to keep the river clean and clear, to celebrate the river's life and all the gifts she brings. Oh, hear the banjo ring. Hear the people sing. Oh, changes everything. Sing, people, sing. Stood up to McCarthy's rage, rally for a living wage, rode with Woody, marched with Dr. King. Patiently brought us along, taught us each and every song. Told she by your side, you could do most anything. You showed us how the world could be, living with integrity. Together we create a force beyond imagining. As I observed your dimming light, I felt the spark in me ignite. And I would trade it all today to hear your banjo ring. Oh, hear the banjo ring. Hear the people sing. Oh, changes everything. Sing, people, sing. Oh, hear the banjo ring. Hear the people sing. Oh, changes everything. Sing, people, sing. Sing, people, sing. Sing, people, sing.
As we're singing these songs to you, I'm thinking about how all of them were referencing, leaders who influenced us and whose work still supports us, even if they're not with us now. And, maybe that's part of our Church of Emma's Revolution would be, that we want to remember the voices and hear the words and see the actions of the people who came before us, because we know that we couldn't be doing what we're doing without them. Someone like Pete Seeger paved the way for being an activist musician as we know it. And part of our work in the world is to respond to things that happen, whether they're the good things you want to think about or not those kinds of things. And what happened in our country on January 6th was shocking and horrible.
And yet not surprising.
And
sadly.
not surprising, but I think the most surprising thing about it was that some people needed it to get that bad in order to notice that something was really, really amiss. And some people still haven't gotten that. So in this next song, what we do with our songs is the idea of sort of crystallizing or condensing a story into a song, because we know that the arts are a way to really connect our brains and our hearts and our bodies and our souls and all of that. So to be able to have a full-bodied response to a moment that was so stressful, so shocking and maybe not surprising at the same time. So it's called A Day in January. So it's going to be under O. I'm looking for the lyrics. I'm helping you. Oh, maybe they're not there. You'll have to. Oh, here they are. Here they are. Sorry.
This is a very new one still.
That's a very new one. They came with flags and guns, convinced of his election. Rage-filled and dangerous, the president's insurrection. They moved with impunity, thinking they'd make history. Hate unveiled blatantly on a day in January. Gathered on that public land, red hats, white-fisted hands, to carry out what he had planned. The guards could not withstand the surging wave of violence through the halls and the balcony. The terror and the treachery of the day in January. None in our house, none in this country, this land of Rosa, ever says our Martin John. Not with our lives, you won't divide us. We're born of leaders, and their spirits carry on. The country froze in the camera's glare, saw for ourselves what had always been there. We did not fall, not on that day. Now the countdown soon to be a moment for the world to see. Power transferred peacefully to those elected rightfully. We will watch with hope anew, knowing all there's still to do, to forge a land for me and you from a day, this coming day, January. Not in our house, not in this country, this land of Rosa, Emma Cesar, Martin John. Not with our lives, you won't divide us. We're born of leaders, and their spirits carry on.
We know that poor, brutish leadership is not unique to the U.S. We know that you all have had your own struggles and are still in some places having your struggles, and as are other places around the country and around the world. It's something that can happen anywhere, and it's something that still simmers beneath the surface here, and there's much much to be done to hear the needs of some, very valid needs of some of those folks who've been, I think, whose rage and fear have been misdirected by an opportunistic leadership here. But some of those needs are very real needs that are not being met. But the problems are not being caused by people of color or by people of Jewish descent or people crossing the border for any reason. The real enemy is the built-in problems in our system. Too many of the things that have been founding concepts that we have yet to reckon with. So we hear the pain across the board that people are expressing, and we need to really get to the real root of that and address that and heal the wounds and the trauma that we've lived with for so long. Loving
wish we could have heard you all singing it, because we know you have been singing that song in your congregation and in your community with your music director, leading 2 communal things, sessions every week. That's our kind of music director. Thank you for doing that, Jane. And usually when we sing that song in concert, for the last chorus, we say, "You take it." And then you get to sing it. And that actually is, I think, is sort of our second tenet of our spirituality. So, our spirituality through music is that we do it together. And then I think the second thing that we do is that we want to leave you, even after we've come for a concert or something like that, we don't want to leave you in a position where you can lead the music in your community, where you can lead this song if you love it, or where you can write your own song that speaks to whatever issue is happening in your community, because you know it best. And what we do is, we know that your speaking voice is just a tiny bit shy of your singing voice, just a tiny bit shy of your singing voice. So this is, one of the things that we want to do is leave you empowered to bring music to all of the activism that you do and all of the community building that you do, clearly through this very loving community of Calgary Unitarians. This next song is the song we wrote for almost the last demonstration we were able to sing at before the pandemic hit. And we know that your mission is to create a just and sustainable world. And that would certainly be one of our tenets of our spirituality as activist musicians. And we were coming to Washington, D.C. to do some concerts on the East Coast, and we found out from Holly Near that Jane Fonda was looking for musicians to come and sing at her Fire Drill Fridays, which were her demonstrations to bring attention to climate change and bring attention to the young people who have made climate change and the climate chaos and the need to fix that, change that, stop that. They have made that such an obvious and apparent need. So we always like to come to an event with a new song if we can that speaks to the issue. So we were up late and into the early hours in the morning that day writing this song, and it has part for you. So you're going to be singing "Put Out the Fire." Here we go. Put out the fire, put out the fire, put out the fire, our house is on fire. Put out the fire, put out the fire, put out the fire, our house is on fire. We love you, we hear you, we commit to change our ways, not later, but sooner, right now. For your future, the youth can't wait. Put out the fire. Women can't wait. Put out the fire. Climate can't wait. Put out the fire. Our house is on fire. For our children. Put out the fire. I'm their children. Put out the fire. I'm their children. Put out the fire. Our house is on fire. Let be. Oh, what are the words? For songbirds. For clean air. For the oceans and the bays. Not later, but sooner. Right now. For our future. Melting glaciers. Put out the fire. Rising seas. Put out the fire. Bleaching coral. Put out the fire. Our house is on fire. Sinking shorelines. Put out the fire. Shrinking islands. Put out the fire. Growing dry lands. Put out the fire. Our house is on fire. Let bees live. Let trees grow. Let the snow fall where it may. Not later, but sooner. Right now. For the future. Right now. For the future. Right now. We are here to put
Well, we know that sometimes we may be preaching to the choir. We've been accused of that once or twice. And we also get that, sometimes it's important to do that. Sometimes we need to be surrounded by our community of folks. But I wrote this song because I found that the choir wasn't always the choir. We didn't always agree 100% on every single issue, but that's okay. We can still come together around the issues that we share in common. And what an incredible force, what an incredible power we would create if we were really able to listen deep down with one another to the real core issues and come together to solve the things that we can. And so here's a little ironic look at all this. Has anybody seen the choir? I want to preach to the converted. I want to see them rising up. Don't want to see one gaze averted. Don't want to have to prove a point. Just want to know they're on my side. Just want to smile and inspire. Has anybody seen the choir? Has anybody seen the church? Maybe that's where I can find them, standing tall against the fray, strength and unity behind them. Have they gathered at the river? Are they washed upon the shore? Have they set the world on fire? Help us. Has anybody seen the choir? Has anybody seen the choir? I want to preach. I want to preach to the converted. See them rise? I want to see them rising up. Don't want to see one gaze averted. Don't want to have to prove a point. Just want to know they're on my side. Just want to smile and inspire. Has anybody seen the choir? Are they teaching in the schools? Are they drinking in the bars? Are they making all the rules? Are they fighting in the wars? All I want to do is get a glimpse of who they are. Has anybody ever seen the choir? Though we may never reach consensus, hope is still within our reach. We can learn to move together, put some motion in our speech. We are a mighty congregation with strength beyond our means. We have the passion and desire. Has anybody seen the choir? Has anybody seen the choir? I want to preach to the converted. I want to see them rising up. Don't want to see one gaze averted. Don't want to have to prove a point. Just want to know they're on my side. Just want to smile and inspire. Has anybody seen the choir? Just want to smile and inspire. Has anybody seen the choir? Woo!
So if that one didn't get you up dancing, I think let's do
Sure.
maybe this last one, Will. We want to do one more song with you this morning. And when I was thinking about the dancing part, so we're named for Emma Goldman, who was a radical and powerful activist and speaker from the last century, and maybe even the century before that. Century stuff always confused me. But she was famous for these words when someone was chastising her for dancing at a party and saying, well, you can't really be a serious scholar and leader if you're going to dance. She said, if I can't dance, I don't want to be part of your revolution. That is essentially what she said. Not exactly those words, but those are the words that fit on a t-shirt, and that's how it came down into history. But really, that full-bodied approach to community, that full-bodied approach to making change in the world, that full-bodied approach to believing that we are the ones who can make the change.
And that full-bodied approach to being joyful in the midst of all of that.
That's right. That's where we come from. That's where we are so glad to be meeting you here this morning in a community like Calgary Unitarians that values music, that loves justice, that clearly creates a beautiful, loving community for you all. We can't wait to sing with you again, whether it's virtually or hopefully sometime in a face-to-face, old-time, real life like we used to do it, when that is safe again. So we hope you will. Yes, I like seeing the comments. I'd say you all just got a big amen from this choir. Okay, we like that. Thank you. So this song is also one that you can dance to, and we will look forward to meeting you in the Zoom chat after service.
These are the words of Lee Hayes, one of Pete Seeger's buddies from his band, The Weavers, that Pete set to music, and that it's made its way its way through the folk process over the years. But no matter what version you know of this song, you can sing it and it will work with this one. When this song was first written, there was kind of a tacit agreement that we all fit under the category of brothers. And then a woman came up to Pete a number of years later and said, Pete, I'm feeling kind of left out. So they started singing brothers and sisters. And then years later, a trans friend of ours came up to us in Oakland and said, Pat, I'm feeling kind of left out. So we thought maybe we should change a line so that it can feel inclusive to everybody that we're singing to in this time. And it may change again, but we thought we'll add a line, all of the resistors. So wherever you come from, whatever door you have entered to find this congregation and this music, we hope that you feel seen and loved and included. And we would love for you to sing with us. And thank you so much for having us this morning.
Love.
Wow, that was fantastic. So let us now take a few moments to appreciate our being together and to appreciate this wonderful music. Though at this time, we're together only virtually. Yet with recognition that we truly are together, we are not alone. We need community to remind us of our web of connection, to remind us of our capacity and our willingness to give and receive. For it is the contributions of each one of us that creates and sustains community. Please be as generous as you can.
We can balance at the brink of wisdom, never recognizing that we've arrived. Loving spirits will live together. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living beneath the great Big Dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side.
I add my wow to Jane's and also wish to express some gratitudes. I want to thank our AV team, Jim and Paul with us online this morning, and Bob, who will do the polishing for posting to the website. I want to thank Jane for her contributions as the president of our Board of Trustees, and to Susan, who is our coffee host, and let you know that Emma's Revolution will be joining us for coffee. They'll remain in the lobby for those who wish to have a chat with them. And my deepest, deepest appreciation to Pat and Sandy for being here with us, for all you do in your ministry of music. My closing words, from what I've heard this morning, recognizing that hope changes everything and that we are all doing it together. Let us remember the importance of listening deeply to each other and to ourselves, and recognize that we are all members of this justice choir. And remember that harmony requires listening to each other. With these words, I extinguish our chalice, knowing that we take its light, the warmth of this community, and the inspiration that we receive with us as we go forth as members of this justice choir to do our work in the world. And I'd like to invite us to join for coffee. When you exit this room and you click out, a screen will come up with a purple coffee mug on it. If you just click the coffee mug, it will take you into our coffee room. And there you will go into small groups or stay in the lobby and visit with Sandy and Pat. And now let us sing together our sung benediction, Spirit of Life.